Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Christmassy talk with. And you should be getting the idea of what this is by now if you've watched the other two, but basically, it's just a shorter, more condensed version in which I bring on guests to talk about festive stuff and the year of achievements so far. And I'm here with Abi Louise. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Abi Louise. I help run TT Productions 23. Yeah, that's it.
Now, how are you? How are you?
Yeah, good. Tired, but I've been trying to organise recordings today, so my brain's all like,
The life of an audio producer. Well,
mm.
yeah. Uh, so first things first, of course, I mentioned this is like a Christmassy talk with. I got the impression from previous conversations that you're not a very festive person, like you're not very into Christmas.
I used to be,
Hmm.
and then because I was in the Navy and the amount of Christmases I was away, it just became another day. And I've got a 7-year-old kid now, so you'd think that would change, but nah. Like
Uh,
I do it, I participate. I don't try to like put my mood on for anybody else, but I just kind of soldier through.
that's fair. Christmas isn't for everyone. I mean, I
I'm more of a
know.
Halloween girl.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I love Halloween as much as the next person. Uh, I know. All right. What's your thoughts on the Nightmare Before Christmas? Is that a Halloween movie or a Christian movie? Like a
I
Christmas.
Christian movie? Yes, it's a Christian. It's a good Catholic movie. No.
Oh yes.
Um I call that a November movie because it's between just watch it in November.
Mm. Yeah, I mean
It's a good go
that's what.
between.
So first question I usually ask people is mainly about their achievements throughout the year, as this isn't just Christmassy to talk with. It's just pretty much just it was just an end of the year thing. So, what achievements, Doctor, or otherwise, do you reflect upon now? And yeah.
So TT wise, uh we've had loads out this year. Doctor Who and originals. Namely Molly. That's done really well. And R101, which you were in, um, also done pretty well as well. So I was pretty proud of those because I wrote them both, so and edited them both. And I've just literally just had my Doctor debut on the channel, so I feel like that's an achievement because I never intended on doing that. I was kind of not forced into doing it. People were kind of saying to me, "You should have a go. You should have a go." Because I'd never seen myself as a doctor ever. I've always seen myself as more as a companion than a doctor,
Yeah.
or the Rani. um. So yeah, it was kind of a happy accident, but I'm kind of happy that I've done it now because the first one came out all right. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can safely say that it did come out all right. Yeah. I mean, going on to that, of course, a good segue. I mean, Mudlark's literally just premiered at the time of recording this, and I was playing Bob. I don't know if I should reveal the second name here.
It's all right. It's
Yeah.
fine because if they haven't watched it, they should go listen to it. To be fair.
Well, I was playing Fagin, which was a lot of fun. What was it like? Because of course you have quite a fascination with that time, that period, Victorian period. Where did that sort of fascination like come from? Was it? Yeah.
I just think it's because I was born and bred in London, and there's so much like of a Victorian stamp on London as a whole, and it kind of like influenced me from there really. Um, and I love a good Charles Dickens book as well, so that's also
I mean, who
um,
doesn't? But yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and talking of the TT originals, I mean, that's where I made my TT debut, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I've always enjoyed working with TT, and of course, it was Scarlet Lust, which came out. Was that was this year, right? Sorry, this whole
Yeah,
year
that
is
was
just.
that was that was like summertime, that
Mm,
makes sense. But yeah, it was just before the summer.
yeah, that was a lot of fun getting murdered by Chelsea. Um,
You're
and
not the
then there
first
was.
person in TT, to be fair. There's a long list of people who have been murdered by Chelsea in TT.
Mm. And I mean, what's your kind of plans for next year that you can reveal, of course, because of course I don't want to spoil any of your.
Yeah, so obviously Dickensian, I will say this, Dickensian wise, she is the equivalent of Christopher Eccleston. She is short, sharp, and simple. So she has 10 episodes and that is it. So she won't be sticking around for long. So I have another 9 of those to sort out. Episode 2 is already done, but it's not out till January. I have a Match Girl strike audio, which is being done beginning of next year, but that's to help raise money because the Match Girl charity are trying to build a statue to commemorate the strike.
Yeah.
Purely because without the Match Girl strike, we wouldn't have health and safety now. That's basically where it originated from. So they kind of want a statue put up in Bow. So that audio is to help raise money for the charity. And the other thing I can talk about is another original series called The Touch, which I'm writing with Chelsea Lagan. And that's a Victorian era one because that's where my mind goes. And it's 1890s and it's basically people who end up with superpowers. So yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
Quite a few.
Yeah,
I like to keep
quite a
busy.
few. And thinking about it, that's not even like everything you got planned. Of course, there
Oh
are
no,
stuff
that's
that we
nowhere near.
nowhere near. I mean, I've heard about
Nowhere
your
near.
backlog and the schedules and all that, and it's brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for more Dickensian, and I like how you've kept it to one season because yeah, I imagine that allows you to plan it out a bit more, and you know where it's heading, I guess.
Yeah,
And
I basically all of them bar the finale are now written
oh wow,
as
oh
well.
brilliant.
So Chelsea and Ian will be writing the Dickensian finale. So that's going to have a fun twist at the end. So look forward to episode 10, guys.
And I will put Mudlarks in the description below so you can listen to me as Fagin and the rest of the brilliant cast, of course. How would you kind of describe your doctor? Because obviously I've heard
Idiot.
your descriptions and yeah.
That's it. Like she's just not quite there. She's lost a few marbles along the way, bless her. She's very clumsy. Yes, Dickensian. So yes, a little bit of an idiot. She's lost most of her marbles along the way. I think she tends to talk faster than her brain lets her, so sometimes she doesn't have a clue what she says. Yeah, she's a fun one. She a lot of the time there's a line that Charles has, and it's you know what's going on, but you don't seem to all at the same time, and I feel like that literally summarizes Dickensian in one line.
Oh, no, I loved acting with you in that one. I felt like it was a very, very fun script. I really enjoyed it because like a lot of fan doctors are very serious, and that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But it's nice to have a
I've had that comment a lot off of a lot of the writers. I think this is
mm,
one reason why a lot of the scripts came in so quickly is because she's not hard, right? She's quite
yeah.
she's yeah, she's quite a simple bean to plan out and she's clumsy. So the clumsiness is the thing that gets her into trouble the most. You'll see in episode 2, her clumsiness gets her into trouble. But yeah, it's nice because it's not me. I'll
Mm.
say this: a lot of people try to base their doctors kind of on them, and I wanted to because I have a habit in TT, especially with Chelsea, I hasten to add, of pushing my actors, and I was like, I'm going to push myself. Um, so I'm not really a comedy person at all. I'm the doom and gloom, kill off people, right, Molly and Mr. B things, right? Um, so I'm not usually in that mindset. So to be playing someone who is basically Miranda Hart on crack is an interesting scenario.
Okay, that is the best description for a doctor I think I've ever heard in my life.
Miranda Hart on crack.
I must say you did an excellent job. You really did
Thank
with
you.
the comedy stuff. It was, as I said, it was just a really fun story, really light-hearted, and the villains were a surprise when I first read the script because I wasn't expecting that. But of course, I won't spoil who the villains are for anyone watching. You can go.
My child plays one of them, so that was fun. He got to play a baddie.
Yeah, and I mean, listening to the audioback, of course, we weren't in the Zencaster with them. The effect you added to the voices as well, that was really creepy stuff. Um, and it was great listening back to the audio and, hearing it all together and, how it was put together and, experiencing it from a viewer's perspective. That's what I love when I'm in something and I get to watch it back. It's amazing. And my Lux was no different. Genuinely amazing audio and perfect for Christmas time, I think. Yeah, I think everything
Yeah,
Dickensian is.
yeah, it's true. There's literally no, this is because it's not so much of a Christmas special. There's no
Mm,
turkeys or
yeah.
like, but where when it's set, yeah, I get you. Dickensian just screams Christmas, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, the whole Bob Fagin and all the twist connotations that adds a bit of it as well. But talking of Christmas specials, I mean, one question that I realized I could ask people on this version of the talk with that I only realized last one I recorded was, what's your favorite Doctor Who Christmas special?
Mine's a toss up between the snowmen because Paternoster Gang, come on, and controversial Last Christmas,
Wow. I mean,
which is weird because I'm not a massive Clara fan, but yeah,
I personally think
basically
the
anything with Dan Starkey in
I
it.
respect that. I respect that. I mean, I was watching a TV show I watched growing up that had Dan in it called Wizards versus Aliens.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely brilliant show. I know it's on all on BBC iPlayer, which I didn't realize. And
yeah.
like, because that was kind of my replacement after Sarah Jane ended. But that's me going on a tangent. But yeah, I respect the Snowman as a choice because I find all the Capaldi ones very underrated, apart from Husbands, which is gets the right amount of love. But I love the Capaldi Christmas specials. I think they balance the Doctor Who charm with the festive nature of it
Mm,
all. And
definitely.
yeah, I don't know why, but I half expect you to say Christmas Carol. I think that's because it's the most popular one, and of course, it's the one with the most
Yeah.
Dickens
See,
influence.
no, see, I'm not a massive fan of that one for some strange reason. I don't know quite know why. Um, but no, I'd say out of the two, Last Christmas is probably my favorite. I think because it's not in your face a Christmas special.
Yeah,
Does that
I
make
mean,
sense? I
it,
mean, I know like Santa's there and stuff, but it's Santa once again on crack. Um, that's my saying for today. I mean, Nick Frost as Father Christmas, you can't go wrong, really.
I mean, it's perfect casting.
I'm doing watch alongs. We were supposed to be recording them, but YouTube said no. Uh,
Ah,
yeah, but it's okay because me and Chelsea are currently watching some Christmas specials. We watched The Snowmen
mm,
because she'd never seen it and she'd never watched any Paternoster Gang. So I kind of felt like I had a duty to educate her. And the next one we're watching is Last Christmas. So
mm.
you can't go wrong with like the bloody dream crabs. Like
Oh,
I
definitely not.
yeah, they because they've been in Big Finish as well. They're fun. They're a fun one to write. I really want to write an episode with dream crabs in it.
That'd be interesting because I haven't gotten around to the Big Finish one yet. I've been meaning to because there was such an
Oh,
interesting
it's so
concept.
much fun because it's Charlie.
Of course, of course, of course. And yeah, so which I think we had this discussion last time. But talking of Charlie, would you say when it comes to Doctor Who characters, is that probably the character you get asked most to do? Like, oh,
Yes, but
yeah.
you'd think it would be Jenny
Mm,
because obviously more people have seen the telly stuff than the Big Finish stuff. But I tend to do Charlie more off of TT. I've only done Jenny once off of TT.
mm,
And I will say this, I much prefer doing Jenny to Charlie. I'm slowly losing like I love the character, but acting her is just so energetic. And it's when
mm.
it comes to the time of night when I'm recording, I'm like, I really don't want to be here. And then I'm like, Charlotte Pollard. And it's just like, ah.
Yeah,
Jenny's as much as Jenny hurts my throat, she's like much more chilled. Um,
yeah, yeah. I can get that. Yeah. What we mentioned like Doctor Who Christmas specials and Doctor Who at Christmas time. Like, do you have any memories with Doctor Who at Christmas time? Like any stories and stuff like that?
see. this is where, because obviously Doctor Who came back in 2005, I joined the Navy in 2006.
Ah.
Yeah. So like anything that I did see, this is the reason why when it comes to Who, I tend to know more about the Fifth Doctor, because
Mm.
obviously I used to watch that as a kid. I used to not I wasn't on the telly. Well,
Yeah.
not it was reruns and stuff like that. UK Gold basically was my childhood for Doctor Who. Um, but this is one of the reasons why I have seen a few modern Who, but I haven't seen all of modern Who. So Christmas story wise, I hadn't seen any of the Christmas specials until I'd like left. Um, that's depressing, isn't it? The thing is, when you're in the military, you basically disappear off the world for 10 years. Because I was in for
Mm.
10 years, so I was just basically in this big bubble of militariness. Um, and I can't for the life of me remember David's first the Christmas invasion, because
Mm.
I must have sat and watched it with the family.
Yeah.
I can't for the life of I've got the worst memory in the world. Like I do have a child, and I just occasionally forget. And I don't. That's a lie. That's a lie.
For
But I
legal
do.
reasons, that's a
For
joke.
legal reasons, that's a joke. I do have a child, and I do acknowledge him hourly. Um, no, I have got the worst memory, but I must have watched Christmas Invasion when it aired, but I can't for the life of me remember watching Christmas Invasion when it aired. I'm old, Rory. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And now I've got to remember the next question, because it's pretty much what does Doctor Who mean to you in general?
So, um, I think the reason why I've made all these friends is because of Doctor Who. Like, because obviously lockdown happened, so Doctor Who was a thing, and it was more of my brother's thing. I will say. Um, so I was into it, but I wasn't into it, you know. Um, but then lockdown happened and Blu-ray started coming out, and I was like, ooh, ooh. And then obviously TikTok, and then cosplaying characters from Classic Who, blah 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 blah, TT Productions. So that's how Who's kind of helped me grow as a person.
Mm.
And I'll say this as well, like me as a person with Classic Who in particular, made me realise that I was bisexual. All I'm going to say is the fifth Doctor's TARDIS team. So, like I say, how I didn't have a mental breakdown when I met Sarah Sutton, I do not know. But no, it made me realise who I am. And the reason why, as a kid, because it's kind of changed now, but when I was a kid, if you were into like the geek stuff and things, you were like an outcast. Whereas now, we look at Comic Cons now,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to be into that kind of stuff in a way. And,
Yeah.
you know, in a way,
Yeah.
um, it's more accepted now than it was when I was a kid. So I was into Who, but I wasn't into Who. But I think that was purely because it was like, I can't
Yeah.
do
There
that.
was some
I want
sort
to
of
be cool,
disdain. Yeah,
you
it was the
know?
same when I was a kid.
Whereas now I'm literally just like, no, I've just made my own doctor, and I do not care what anybody else thinks. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy myself, and I have these friends that accept me for who I am, and I accept them for who they are, and we just geek out together, and it's great, you know? Yeah.
Couldn't put that myself in my hand. I mean, yeah, I mean, there was certainly that sort of culture about geeky stuff and all that when I was growing up as well. I mean, I remember like there was fights in the playground over like if you like I was the only one that liked Doctor Who in my entire school, and everyone else liked Power Rangers, and so that
Oh yeah.
immediately made me the outcast because I didn't really mesh well with anyone because of that interest. And I also went to a Catholic school, which and
Oh,
they
I know
don't
that
like
pain.
Doctor
Don't
Who.
worry.
Gosh, yeah. So it was, yeah. I think there was certainly that culture. I think when Doctor Who was taken off, I think I don't really know when it kind of changed. Really, the sort of culture. I think it just happened. I think maybe
Yeah.
with the rise of streaming services. Maybe
Yeah,
that
probably.
was probably the big, or like the MCU, or
Yeah, it's
something
probably
big
to do with them,
really.
isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah, something big probably pushed it in the more, you know, probably all these franchises and all that.
Socially
Yeah,
acceptable. Yeah.
yeah. So my final question kind of throws people off, I've realized, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway, and it's kind of if you have a Christmas message for the audience, go ahead. I know you're
This
not a
is where
very
everybody
festive
quotes
person, but
Hartnell.
I've said to everyone, you cannot quote Hartman because I'm going to
Damn
do it at the end of this.
it.
I'm going to do it at the end of this mini series. That's for sure.
Ah. Um, hmm. Well, just like have a good Christmas. If you get the opportunity to spend it with your family, spend it with your family. Enjoy the time you have with them. And yeah, don't forget to get drunk and fall asleep in the sofa in the afternoon. That's how it works, isn't it? Eat too much
It
turkey,
certainly
get
is.
drunk, fall asleep. There we go. Fall asleep with a Christmas hat on.
That,
Tradition.
that is the best Christmas message I've got out of the three guests I've had on so far.
It's like serious, get drunk and wear a funny hat.
Hmm. Kind of put it better myself. I mean, yeah, but thanks for coming back on and joining me
Sorry.
today. It's been a pleasure talking to you again. You're always welcome to come back on the show whenever. And if you have anything to promote, go ahead.
Not yet. Not yet. Nothing's been done yet.
I'm
In us, here's to 2023. We have lots planned, so stay tuned.
and mudlarks and everything will be in the description as well. Yeah, thanks for joining me, and yeah, bye everyone.
Bye.